In this particular case, it's a property that had for years had code violations, but even more than code violations, the people in the community were terrified of the occupants. There was a high crime element to this house. So it was a house that had belonged to a bank, then got exchanged to another bank, and there was no real ownership of who took care of that house. There was no known owner to it. The owner would have been a bank, but they were not involved. You take different approaches to different properties. This one had just extensive police reports on it. Police were very frequently called to this property. There were some pretty extreme stories, a lot of drug usage coming out of this property, and a lot of people that were staying there were also no strangers to violent crime. The neighborhood around it were rightfully, I think, very scared of this property. The property had, it was just strange how it was set up. I mean, they had a generator for electricity. They had tied into the electric panel. The generator was going 24/7, which was really bothering the neighbors. They had dug a pit. The people that were living there dug a pit in the backyard to put the generator in to muffle the sound a bit, but it didn't muffle it much. And so there was a lot of noise going on constantly. They didn't have plumbing. I suspect they actually would just take water from neighboring spigots. There was a lot of jerry-rigged aspects to this property. The kitchen sink consisted of just a big basin that they filled with water from where they found it elsewhere. It smelled, probably had 15 to 20 flat-screen TVs in it of various newness that I suspect came from different places other than directly from the store. And there was other evidence of drug use that was on the site. We went about securing it. We knew that this was one had a lot of potential to have people break back into it. And one of the biggest things you do when you have a property that might have former occupants coming to it, what draws them is their stuff. And so I worked with some of the former occupants that weren't there legally, but that was their stuff, and coordinated them getting it. Then we started the process of repairing it. We did a full and extensive repair. The house looks night and day from what it was. In this particular case, there was no real incident that happened. There were a couple people that were living there. They were, for the most part, cooperative, but they also saw the police presence that we had. So there was a man and a woman. The woman apparently had 2 teenage children that lived with her on that property that weren't there at that time because they were in school. And that was something that was concerning for us. We didn't want to simply go in and vacate somebody who was living there with her kids. So we made arrangements to have them stay at a couple of rooms at a nearby motel until they could get back on their feet. I think it was about a month or so, maybe a month and a half of doing that. And then they were able to relocate with her parents. And my understanding is it was a much better situation for them. We'll go before the court, get permission to sell that property, and then it will exchange hands from people that should not have been living there to people that should, and we'll treat the property respectfully. That's the goal. Most importantly in this particular case is the criminal element disappeared within almost immediately of us taking over. I do have to give the local police department a lot of credit as well. They were very cooperative, very helpful. It's a teamwork. It's a team effort.